Well, good Sunday afternoon, everyone. I'm meteorologist Nathan Scott. Joining me is meteorologist Corallys Ortiz. She's on the weather wall, and we just want to give you an update on what's happening. We had that tornado warning earlier this afternoon that affected you folks in Faulkner County. Nothing was reported. There was a little bit of low-level rotation. That's why the National Weather Service went ahead and issued that tornado warning. There's no tornado warning in effect at this time, but a line of showers and storms are starting to approach the metro, and the skies are getting a little sour and ugly as we look off to the west. From the Simmons Bank building, you can see those sheets of rain in the distance along the horizon. So the weather is about to change here in Pulaski County. No severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for the Little Rock Metro. We only have one severe thunderstorm warning issued right now. Let's go right to the live radar to take a look at that and talk about what are the main concerns out there this afternoon. Corrales, it's primarily a large hail threat, but there's enough rotation. We got to watch out for each cell because that potential of a brief weak spin-up tornado is still in play.
Essentially, something we mentioned yesterday, that the threat for severe weather was there, not expected to be widespread, but the main impact was going to be with hail. So let's go ahead and zoom right in to this cell that's, I believe, over White County, going across White County. Go ahead and zoom into that. Is severe thunderstorm warning. That one's in effect until at least 3:30. So if you're anywhere, this one was, I believe, that same cell that was tornado warned. So
that is correct.
We are going to just keep an eye out just in case this one does try to get something going once again. So it is not only a hail maker, but producing quite a bit of lightning. So all the cities that are towns, I should say, within this quadrant, Crosby, we also have Searcy and Gardner under that severe thunderstorm warning. Again, any of these storms are capable of, doing those brief weeks spin-ups. We mentioned yesterday, a couple of them were possible in the forecast, as most of these are mostly just isolated to scattered storms moving on through. So thank you. If you can go ahead and try to see if we're seeing any hail out of this particular storm right now, and there is definitely a good amount, an excess of quarter or an inch in diameter. Even this one is indicating, I believe, about ping pong ball sized hail. So quite a bit of some hail being produced with some of these storms. And again, that's going to be the main impact with that. We could see anywhere up to tennis ball sized hail be produced within some of these storms. So whenever we get, again, these single cells, those are a little bit more capable of producing more of a large hail in comparison to, let's say, just the damaging winds on top of that. So yeah, so hail reported in White County. This was around 10 minutes ago or so. Hail size was reported up to an inch in diameter, which is quarter size hail, which is the standard that normally comes with these severe storms. But of course, we are expecting to possibly see an excess of that. So a little bit of a wider view. This is the only severe thunderstorm warning we do have at the moment, but we are watching out for, as the cold front pushes on through, the development of some lines. As you can see, it's like a trailing effect with some of these. Any of these could easily become severe thunderstorm warnings, and that's what we're going to keep essentially looking out for as we continue on into the rest of the afternoon and evening. The risk, though, is going to be especially likely for severe weather as we go in towards southeastern Arkansas. Now that most places, that northwest is kind of at the back end of it. So as that cold front continues to kind of push on through, we're going to continue to watch for the development more of those scattered showers and storms.
And Corrales, this is expected. We have a very soupy atmosphere. You go outside, it's very humid. We've got a lot of storm fuel in place for these storms to really intensify through the course of the afternoon as that front makes its way in here from the west. Once the front moves through, you're done with the threat of severe weather. So right now, that front is pretty much slicing Arkansas in half. Let's go back over to radar, because if you are to the west of the Little Rock Metro, say Perry County, Conway County, into Van Buren County, Cleburne County, you're done with the threat of severe weather. That front has made its way through your neck of the woods. It's going to be locations off to the east. So from Little Rock and down to the south and southeast, that's where you'll have to watch out for that potential of some strong to severe thunderstorms. Once again, the primary concerns will be large hail along with damaging wind gusts. And yes, we cannot rule out the potential there could be a brief weak spin-up tornado. That chance is low, but it is there. And we've been getting reports of hail quarter size, even larger than that in some cases. And if you have a report of hail, you can post it on the Facebook page. We're looking at comments. We'll take a look at some of those comments in just 1 second. But 501-376-1111, that's where you can send your pictures and also your reports. So let's take a look at the timeline, because if you have any plans to maybe take mom out to dinner this evening, a lot of locations the weather's going to be fine. So here's what we're looking at with the severe weather threat breakdown. Pretty much the threat will be over from Hot Springs into Conway, then up through Batesville in the next 15 to 30 minutes. Still have to be on our guard until about 6 o'clock. White County, Woodruff County, Monroe, Prairie, Lonoke, Pulaski, Saline, into Hot Spring County, Grant County, Jefferson County, Dallas, Ouachita, Clark, Hempstead, Nevada, and down to the southwest. And then until about 9 o'clock, if you're watching us in Monticello, Dumas, McGee, down through southern parts of Arkansas County, Phillips County, and also into Bradley County, Ashley, and Chico counties. So we've got some time to get through, but really the window of opportunity right now in a large part of central Arkansas is going to stick around until 6 o'clock. Let's take a look at the future radar. And Corallys, I'm going to let you explain this. I'll just go by frame so people can really get a good perspective on when they may see that line move through their neighborhood.
Yeah, that's right, Nathan. And I know that earlier today it was upgraded to a little bit more of an elevated risk for more of the severe weather to be focused towards southeastern Arkansas. So as you continue on to future clouds and radar on this future cast, you'll notice, but still just watching out for those individual cells. Any of these are capable of producing the large hail that we mentioned and the possibility of a tornado or two, which we are going to keep watching out for. 4 o'clock hour, it's already starting to shift south of Little Rock. So I want to say just south and east of Interstate 30 and 40, continue on into the evening hours. So if you're anywhere between Camden, El Dorado, Monticello, Pine Bluff, you guys are still expecting at least around the 6 o'clock hour to be dealing with some of those scattered showers and storms coming into your direction. For us here in the metro, we're going to be a little bit at the back end of it, still probably dealing with the lingering thunder shower or two, but at least by the 6 o'clock hour, we should start being in the clear for that. And this is around the time, of course, with people at the baseball game should be heading home. Continue on to the 7 o'clock hour, a lot of those storms are starting to cluster into, I want to say, extreme southeastern portions of the state. So you're still under that risk. Monticello, Camden Lake Village, even West Helena. So again, this is going to be up until, I want to say, for later into the evening, we'll start to see it kind of begin to wrap up. And it'll start to, it does seem to, like it will start to kind of bunch up a little bit. And the threat for us, at least by the 9 o'clock hour, for much of the state, we should start to be in the clear, essentially, besides a few lingering showers or so as we go towards around the 10, 11 o'clock hour. And then after that, we should start to just, again, be in the clear as we go into our Monday. But that front does stall out to our south, so we do have the potential to be seeing some several bouts of some showers going into our Monday. In the forecast, it did seem to be unsettled for the next several days, but the risk for anything severe right now, it's just mostly showers we're expecting out of this at the back end of the cold front. Nathan?
Yeah, we'll take a look at the high resolution once again, because if people are just joining us right now, we appreciate it, first of all, but we do have some changing weather moving into a large part of central Arkansas. Let's take another look at our View 11 with a full screen, because that really gives a good idea of how ugly the skies are becoming just off to the west. So you can see in the distance there, we've got some heavy rain taking place very close, getting to Pinnacle Mountain, the low cloud base, but this is not severe. This is just a good downpour at this time. But let me see if this storm is strengthening as it approaches the Little Rock Metro. We're looking at cloud tops about 40,000 feet. So we have to watch out for these, because if they continue to grow, those updrafts continue to strengthen, we're going to have to be on the lookout for some hail here in Little Rock and also locations down to the south and southeast. Right now, the only severe thunderstorm warning in effect for the entire state of Arkansas is over White County. That does include you folks in Searcy, and the National Weather Service has just come out with a report of ping pong ball size hail that has made its way right across the community of Hart, 1 mile west-southwest of Hart. So let's see if we have that report that has just come in. We had those 2 other reports, and looks like we don't have that report just yet. But if you're familiar with the community of Hart, that is some pretty large hail, and that could do damage to vehicles. Anything a quarter size or larger can damage vehicles and can produce some minor damage. We could see hail in maybe one storm or two storms that may try to reach the capacity of tennis ball size hail. If those storms continue to grow higher and higher into the atmosphere, that leads us to believe that some of these storms could produce hail that particular size. This cell is the one we really have to watch. It's got a lot of lightning with it. The other cells are trying to strengthen. So we'll walk down the line here, Corallys, and we're going to start off in northeast Arkansas around Jonesboro. Just that one lone shower. No lightning being reported in Craighead County at this time, but
yeah,
we have to watch every single one.
Absolutely. Again, the parameters essentially for them to issue a severe thunderstorm warning. Winds have to be in excess of 58 miles per hour, and of course reports of hail up to an inch in diameter. But yeah, not much in terms of lightning or any storm action going on with these particular showers. Not everybody's expecting it. These are going to be mostly scattered as this line continues to kind of push on through. So Jonesboro, Gibson, and Bay just mostly dealing with some light showers. Continuing on into this line as we continue down towards the north and west, as we go to Newport. You guys are seeing a little bit of some of that lightning there, but in terms of you guys being under severe thunderstorm warning, guys are kind of a little bit on the outside of that. This is that main warning that we've been talking about that also had produced that tornado warning, I want to say at the 2 o'clock hour. So that right now is just a severe thunderstorm warning. It does seem like it's going to be staying in that warning within at least until 3:30. So for another 27 minutes or so. So if you're in Bald Knob, you guys are probably seeing plenty of that lightning and of course some of that hail, which is going to be the main impacts with some of these storms. Right now, the hail is being reported up to a quarter, maybe even, again, mentioned, we had reports of ping pong sized hail with some of these storms as well. So Harmony, Floyd, Jordan, you guys are probably seeing some of those reports of that hail. Always send us those reports, that way we have a better chance of seeing that. Then in terms of rotation, there was indication of a little bit of some of that rotation going on earlier from that storm, which is why they did produce that tornado warning as of now, showing just a little bit of it, but it's lots of lightning being produced right now.
And that's
with this
really the main threat. It's a lot of lightning, a lot of cloud-to-ground lightning strikes, so you certainly want to be indoors as this cell makes its way through White County. I'm not seeing a lot of gusty winds, but there could be wind gusts. Cannot rule it out, 40, maybe as high as 50 miles per hour. But the main concern with this cell moving through White County continues to be very heavy rainfall and also that potential of dime size, quarter size, but maybe even larger than that hail, as the hail core is right over what Corallys just talked about, Harmony, Crosby, into Searcy. That's going to be moving into Judsonia and West Point. A large part of White County, you could see some hail out there this afternoon, and let us know if you are seeing hail. Let's take a look at the Facebook comments. I'm seeing dark and pouring rain. Sandra, Judsonia, White County, thank you for that report. Erica, she says there has been hail, Bald Knob, just heavy rain and thunder by Carrie. And we've got, let's see, sleeping weather. Carrie also says, well, you must want to go to bed pretty early. It's a little bit too much daytime for me to be going to sleep. But if you like to listen to the rain or maybe thunder and lightning, hey, some people like that and puts them to sleep. Here is the tower cam now. This is looking off to the northwest, still seeing that rain continue to approach its way into Little Rock. And once again, that cell is not a severe thunderstorm warned cell. It's a strong cell. It's a strong storm. It's going to pack a punch with some heavy rain, but at this time, it does not look like that one is going severe. We're just watching this one cell that continues to cruise its way through White County, and that is the one that's getting all my attention. Looking down the line, there's the cell moving through northern parts of Pulaski County. We'll be moving into Cabot, so not everybody's going to see the heavy rain out there this afternoon. Once this line moves through, you are done with the threat of severe weather. So you've got about 15-30 more minutes if you're watching us in Momel, because that does have some lightning and thunder rolling its way through Pinnacle Mountain, getting into West Little Rock, and this is headed right for downtown Little Rock. Not going to last very long. It will be a gully washer for a short amount of time, but once that activity moves through your neighborhood, you're done with the threat of severe weather. So you're done with the threat of severe weather Mayflower, done in Perry County, a large part of northwestern Pulaski County. You're done with the severe weather. So if you still want to take mom out to dinner here in Pulaski County, here in Saline County, you will be able to do that in the next, I would say, 1 to 2 hours. By 5, 6 o'clock, a lot of this activity is going to be out of the Little Rock Metro, and we're going to be done with the threat of severe weather, and it will be focused in southeast Arkansas. Let's continue to work our way down the line here. Thunderstorms rolling through Garland County, not severe, could produce some small hail, maybe some pea-sized hail around Fountain Lake. Also getting to Roll, Bear, so that's southwestern parts of Garland County. Getting pretty close to Hot Springs. There's the heavy rain knocking at your doorstep. Let's put this into motion over the past hour, and it is cruising its way down to the east and southeast. So Hot Springs, get ready because a downpour is headed in your direction. And this storm is nothing like what you saw a couple days ago that brought that wind gust of over 70 miles per hour. This is primarily some heavy rain and lightning. That cell not severe at this time. Down the line, Montgomery County, in the northern parts of Pike County, still watching some lightning and thunder take place for you folks. But again, these cells are just strong. They are in the process of developing. They're hitting that warm, soupy air mass. We had some breaks of sun out there. You know what I always tell you, when the sun's out, that adds more fuel to the fire, and that's why these cells have really started to develop. But fortunately, at this time, the only cell that we're really concerned about is the one into White County. Still hanging on to that severe thunderstorm warning. Once again, if you're watching us in White County, let us know what's going on. That is a lot of lightning taking place, and we've got lightning strikes. I'm just going to query some of these lightning strikes in a small area from Crosby to Searcy. And you definitely want to be indoors because almost 100 lightning strikes within that square mile area that we're looking at. I don't know how many square miles it is. I can measure it in just 1 second. But that is within the past 10 minutes. So it is rocking, rolling, definitely creating quite a ruckus over Searcy, Crosby, and that's moving towards Higginson, West Point, Griffithville, and to a large part of White County. Take a look at the radar loop here, and we'll tell you where that cell is going. And I'm going to put a storm track on it as well because we do have that ability since it is moving down to the east and southeast. Let me just see how fast this storm is moving.
I believe roughly 35 miles per hour.
35? Okay.
Roughly, yes. Let me see. East, south to east at around 35.
We'll put a storm track on here. Let me just go ahead. It's kind of pretty much almost a east-southeast direction. So I'm going to have to work with this a little bit. I have to adjust this because this is not going to be 35 miles per hour. I think it's about, yeah, that's 50. So we'll give or take, we'll say 40. We'll just want to give people a little more notice. And let me go ahead and do that track just one more time so we can get an accurate reading. Now, the radar loop is what I'm working with. Talk to the directors in the back. So we're good with the image that we have right now. So yeah, that's moving pretty much due east almost. So it's going to make its way into Woodruff County, and it's a little difficult with this storm track because usually as they drift their way down to the south and southeast. So let's do this. Let's do the worst part of the storm moving in that direction. And make sure I got the mileage right here. So yeah, that's just a guesstimate. So we're looking at Bald Knob around 327, it's already there. Augusta around 344, McCrory around 358, and then it's going to continue to move towards the east. So if you're watching us in those locations, especially into Woodruff County, you're next in line for this cell. And once again, this is the same cell that did produce that tornado warning earlier in Faulkner County. That's the one cell that we've been watching very closely and making sure it behaves itself. It has been showing just a little bit of rotation here and there. So we'll just have to keep a close eye on things. It's moving through White County right now. It's not showing much rotation at this time, but you know what supercells like to do? They like to cycle up and cycle down. I'm seeing a little bit of some wind around Bald Knob and Judsonia. That might be a little cluster rotation trying to develop for that area. So we'll have to be on the lookout for that. Let me see if I can show it on the live radar here, and we can get a good look at that, Corallys, to see what we're watching. So that little area right there, we'll have to pay attention to it pretty closely. There's something a little suspicious there. So if you're watching us in that part of White County, no tornado warning at this time, but that certainly could be a gust of wind coming out, or that could also be maybe a little bit of rotation trying to develop just to the south of Bald Knob. I'm going to freeze it here and we'll circle it, and Corallys, you can take over and talk about that just for 1 second.
Yeah, essentially, just the same thing. Just mentioned, we're going to keep watching out for any signs of rotation, something to get, watching out for the potential of any of these turning into possible warnings in the future, like we saw earlier today. So yes, just where he circled it, believe it's south of Bald Knob, east of Judsonia, and east of 367, and south of 64. So something we're going to be watching out for. This is that same storm that's been producing a severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Faulkner, going into White County as well. Lots of lightning being produced with this as well. Storm is moving roughly east southeast-ish at around 40 to maybe even 50 miles per hour. So this does expire at 3:30. I would not be surprised that it does get extended. It does seem like it's holding on to its strength. The same storm was producing hail, a ping pong sized hail as well. And that's going to be the main risks with these storms. But right now, this is the only one that's under a severe thunderstorm warning. Doesn't mean all these other storms that we're seeing right now, they could still be strong and pack a punch as well. I know that they had some type of kind of advisory over in Garland County or Hot Springs for that one particular storm there as well. So seeing a little bit some of that lightning showing up. It was showing up on that camera view earlier here in Pulaski County to our north and west. So it's probably, if you're in Maumelle, just to the east of Pinnacle Mountain, those showers, those thunder showers, I should say, are starting to roll on through, nearing the metro area. So right now it's to our north and west. So I want to say within at least the next half hour to an hour, a good portion of the county, the metro area, is going to start to be at the back end of this before it starts to exit out.
Yeah, we can go to our view 11, looking off to the west. We got a good look at that cell approaching downtown Little Rock, the low cloud base, and then you can see the towering clouds in the distance. So if we're able to do that, Wade, we appreciate going to our view 11, looking off to the west with that one storm cell, because you got some blue sky in the upper part of the screen showing sunshine, but that's definitely a cell that's trying to grow. So it's a very interesting look with the rain in the distance, and also I'm seeing some fragmented clouds. That is known as scud, and this gets confused with a lot of people because some people see that and they say, oh, that's a funnel cloud or something. So are we able to get that up, Wade? If that's possible, just let me know. If it's not, that's okay. If we can go to our view 11, sir. Our view 11, please. Looking off to the west. There we go. Yeah, so, that's an ominous sight right there with that lowering of the cloud deck, but that's a typical thunderstorm. And you can see, if you want to point that out, Corallys, where it's starting to break up, that is the rising air. It's rising so fast. If you can point out where the scud is, right below the cloud base.
Right here.
Yeah, just right within that rain shaft, you see those little fragments of the cloud, and that's known as scud. It's not rotating, it's not twisting. But if you were looking out in your backyard, you saw something like that,
it'd be a scary
you might want to report it as a funnel cloud. Mm-hmm. As long as there's no rotation, we're not concerned. This is the storm drawing in a lot of that warm, soupy air, producing that updraft, and it's so quick and so fast with that rising air that it goes from a vapor right to a cloud, and you can watch it change ever so slightly. If we had a loop on this or something like that, that'd be really cool to look at how this scud just kind of changes every minute. And that's just because we've got that rising air happening, you got the rain happening in the distance, and then you see the clearing line off to the west. So heavy rain is moving into Little Rock. This is not a severe thunderstorm. This is a strong storm. And let's go take a look at the radar once again. You can see we do have some lightning. It's going to bring about us some heavy rain, but once this moves through, you're done with the threat of severe weather for the rest of the day. So we have another hour or so here in Little Rock and off to the west. When I say west, what's happening right now? In Maumelle, it's going to be approaching Benton. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning, I think, or still, no, same severe thunderstorm warning in effect for White County. That continues to be the case, as that cell looks like it has produced a little bit of outflow there right around BB. So BB, you might see a gust of wind.
I know there's some social media reports coming in from that storm, Mount Vernon and Faulkner County, excuse me. They have reports of hail of golf ball size, or 1.75 inches in diameter there. So that's one of the things we've been seeing with a lot of these storms, producing up to ping pong, golf ball sized hail. So yeah, again, that's the only storm that we were mentioning earlier. That's not under the severe thunderstorm warning at the moment. Just kind of checking to see if we have any more updates coming our way in terms of like reports.
Yeah, I'm gonna switch it over here to the composite radar. Let's take a look at the full radar, and you can clearly see where that front is slicing its way right through the heart of central Arkansas at this time. So once again, right to the west of that, you're done with the threat of severe weather. It's going to be really southeast Arkansas we have to keep an eye on. We have not looked at any current conditions just yet, but let's take a look at the visible satellite, because there's the breaks of sun, and you see that thin line of clouds hitting this very warm air mass. It's 81 in Little Rock, 84 in Arkadelphia, and then it's 67 in Fort Smith, 77 in Russellville. So this is the warm air that all those storms are tapping into. And we'll take a look at the dew point, because that really shows the change, most likely, in the air mass, and it clearly does, Corallys.
Yeah, and that's why we were mentioning southeastern Arkansas. You guys are very warm. You have a warm, moist air mass in place, and on top of that, with the peaks of that sunshine, it's just going to be added fuel to whenever those storms do arrive, to possibly, you know, give them that added energy, essentially. So we still have a few more hours before, I want to say another hour or so before it starts to enter into southeastern Arkansas. But yeah, you can already notice right behind that cold front, much drier, cooler air is already in place. So again, we're gonna just keep watching out for the next couple hours or so as this enters southeastern Arkansas, for the potential of more of those severe storms rolling on through. Still, that storm warning, that severe thunderstorm warning, still holding in place as of now. If we can go ahead and put that on now, so we can pause the loop. There we go, 3:19 right now. So for another 10 minutes or so, and then we'll see if they do end up extending that or not. Let's see if we're seeing any hail out of this right now, because I know that we had reports from the same storm when it rolled through Faulkner County, golf ball ping pong size hail. So right now it's producing about quarter size hail, almost ping pong, but that's just the standard that comes with a lot of these severe thunderstorms. As well, and we saw plenty of lightning. So starting to cross over, if you're in Xerxes, you guys are probably seeing some of those reports of the hail right now, a little bit closer right now. Higginson, Kinseth, I believe that's how you pronounce it, starting to cross over a highway 167, so still south of Judsonia, continue to move to the east-southeast at this point.
And you're right, Corallys, because people continue to comment on our Facebook page saying that they're seeing hail now at the Sonic at Searcy.
All right.
That photo report sent in by Vincent. Vincent, we really appreciate it. A marble-sized hail in Searcy by Brittany. So once again, if you have any of reports, pictures, 501-376-1111. That's where you can send those reports. That's where you can send those pictures, and we might show some of those coming up at 5:30 on the newscast, in which Corallys Ortiz will be telling you the weather at that time. But this is the only cell that we're concerned about, is the one moving through White County. It is packing quite a punch, producing that potential of hail. That is the main concern out there, ladies and gentlemen, for the rest of the afternoon. And again, most people are like, okay, so what about my neighborhood? Let me pull up the radar once again, and we've got to take another look at the RView 11 camera. We can get that up in just 1 second, because it's amazing how it continues to change, Corallys, and almost seeing a little bit of lowering there. That's a little more concerning, seeing that lowering happening with that cloud base. It's not just scud anymore, but there could be maybe a shelf cloud trying to develop, or maybe even some sort of wall cloud. We'll have to keep a close eye on that
Absolutely.
as it approaches Little Rock, because normally when a thunderstorm moves through, you want to see a solid cloud base. You don't want to see any lowering happening, and we're seeing a lowering now starting to happen with this cloud base as it approaches Little Rock. It does not have any severe thunderstorm warning. It does not have any clear rotation at this time that I'm seeing showing up on radar, but just seeing that lowering of the cloud base, got to watch this guy very closely, and we'll continue to watch it as it makes its way through Little Rock. Once that passes through your neighborhood, you're done with the threat of severe weather. So here in Pulaski County, in Saline County, we got to be on our guard for the potential severe weather now for the next hour or so, probably until about 4:30, 5 o'clock, and then we'll be in the clear. However, folks down to the south and southeast, you got to watch out for the potential severe weather going through the rest of the afternoon until far southeast Arkansas, I would say about 8 or 9 o'clock this evening. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued into Clark County. So I'll zoom in on that, Corallys, and you can talk about that in just 1 second.
So yeah, I think that includes parts of Clark, Dallas County as well. So this one's until 4 o'clock. And I know earlier I was watching that because they were saying it was a little bit of a significant weather advisory with that. But yeah, seeing a little bit some of that lightning from the storm, Wheeling Springs, I believe, is that how you pronounce it? Wheeling Springs there. You guys are underneath that warning as well. It's just to the east of Redlands, so you guys probably just got hit by that earlier. But yeah, essentially, I believe it's moving towards the east-northeast. So I'm gonna go ahead and check to see, do you know what direction it's moving?
We'll just take a look at the radar loop,
yes.
and the severe thunderstorm warning has it making its way off to the north-northeast.
North-northeast. So, and this is until, again, 4 o'clock hour. Let's see if we're seeing any hail being produced out of this particular one as well. So, yeah, we are seeing about quarter-sized hail, the standard with a lot of these severe storms. So, the towns that are underneath this warning right now, I believe you pronounce Vadin, Sparkman, Ouachita, Pine Grove. I'm gonna go ahead and move over here next to our north and east. We also have Princeton as well underneath that severe thunderstorm warning, again for roughly another half hour or so. This is the second one we're seeing so far across the area in terms of severe thunderstorm warnings, besides the one that was kind of moving across White into parts of even Prairie and near counties as well. So we're gonna go ahead and put a timing on that and when we can expect that to arrive in your neck of the woods. In Kansas, you guys should see it around 3:41 Vadin, 3:45 Sparkman at 3:54. Continue on into the 4 o'clock hour for Wave and Princeton as well for that particular storm. So the warning there is going to be in effect until at least 4, unless they do decide to extend that. So it's a very small cell, but it can easily pack a punch. All of these should be taken seriously, whether or not it's warned, because it doesn't need to be warned for it to be strong. And there's another one, I believe, that's starting to develop to our west. That is in, I'm trying to remember that.
Howard County.
Excuse me?
It's in Howard County.
Howard County, yes,
and
thank
moving
you.
into Pike County.
Okay.
And that town's called, some people call it Dirks, some people call it
Dirks.
Dierks.
Dirks, okay, perfect, yeah. So that one is moving, I believe, towards the same general direction, east-ish, east to northeast, if you want to put a loop on that. So we're starting to see a few of these storms, you know, like we mentioned, there are some pockets to our south that had a little bit of that sunshine. It's a little bit of the added fuels to these storms that, although they weren't warned, now they are starting to get a little bit some of that energy. So we took off the lightning there. So this particular storm is starting to move to, let me go ahead, yeah, towards the east, almost southeast. Nathan, you guys are starting to, hey, it's a town after you, Nathan, arrive to your direction as well. And this is that same one that we mentioned earlier as well. So we have about 3 severe thunderstorm warnings at the moment as these storms are starting to pop up into parts of southeastern Arkansas.
And again, it's really the cell in White County. That's the strongest cell that has the most lightning moving through White County, approaching Woodruff County. That has a boatload of lightning still happening. So it's been raining cats and dogs from Floyd, Searcy, Higginson, West Point, now into Augusta. And that cell is moving off to the east, almost a southeast direction. And Sandra continues to say torrential rain, thunder, lightning, no hail in downtown Judsonia. Seems to be clearing from the west, however. And that is true. Once this cell moves through White County, you are done with the threat of severe weather and you're done with the threat of storms. And then somebody, Crystal, says, what is that number again? Well, that's 501-376-1111. I'll show that coming up on a graphic in just 1 second.
I know you had mentioned that lightning count earlier from that storm was at just over 100 or so. It'll be interesting to see how much there is now with this particular one, if it's a good indication whether or not it's continuing to weaken or strengthening. It's just counting the amount of lightning strikes. So about 78 in that general area. So still holding together right now. Again, the warning's still in place for a few more minutes, and we'll see if they continue to extend that. But we've had plenty of hail reports out of this particular storm. Quarter ping pong sized, which is up to at least, I want to say the highest report, 1.75 inches or so. So it's a good idea of how big they can be. Let's see a little bit of a wider view.
We'll just show the lightning here.
Look at all that lining up.
And you can definitely tell that it is White County that stands out. But let's go back over to our view 11 now. Let's take a look at the other camera, because that storm cell continues to move into a different view, still producing certainly a lowering of the cloud right there. So we are watching that very closely as it makes its way across North Little Rock, not seeing any rotation with the cloud, but anytime there's a lowering of a cloud base, you have to pay attention to it very closely. There is no severe thunderstorm warning in effect. They're considering this as a strong cell, but just watching that lowering of the cloud base certainly gets your attention, and
you see that
lots
rain
of
coming
scud,
down. Yeah.
and it's drifting its way off to the east. So this is looking pretty much due north, and you can see the band of heavy rain right behind that rain shaft, affecting, I would say, probably Interstate 40, right at the interchange of 40 and 630. So it's moving through Amboy, it's moving through North Little Rock, some very heavy rainfall, but we just have to watch out for that cloud base, make sure it doesn't rotate. If it starts to rotate, then the concern's going to be amped up a little bit more. Back over to radar. Thank you, Wade. And it's just this line. This line continues to charge its way down to the east and southeast along the cold front. It's a window of opportunity that we've got to work with. We've got that severe thunderstorm watch that has been issued for a large part of central Arkansas until 9 o'clock. Now, not everybody in central Arkansas will have to be under that severe thunderstorm watch until 9 o'clock, because here's the timeline we're looking at once again. If you are to the west of the line of storms, right through the heart of central Arkansas at this time, almost right along Interstate 30, you only have about another 30 minutes to an hour until 6 o'clock. And Corrales, you can point out and you can name some of the communities here. Just give them a breakdown of what to expect over the next few hours.
Yeah, essentially anything north of this line. So that includes Mena, Russellville, Clinton. You guys are at the back end of whatever's the worst of the weather. You guys are pretty much in the clear, but we're starting to see it here in central Arkansas. The main cities, anywhere from Batesville, even still including Hot Springs. I know we had a severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Montgomery from that storm kind of moving out from Pike County and Clark County as well. That one is the only one that we're seeing so far. And also Arkadelphia, we have Pine Bluff. You guys are still at least until 6 o'clock where you guys can expect to be dealing with some of these severe storms. But once we get towards the southeast though, we're going to see you guys have those storms in the area until at least that 9 o'clock hour. That includes El Dorado, Monticello, maybe Camden's right at the edge of that as well. So just again, we're starting to see these storms roll in as of now, nearing that 4 o'clock hour into southeast, but the general area here and until 6 o'clock. Anything north of that though, you guys are pretty much in the clear.
And we are getting a lot of pictures of the hail coming in. I'm looking at our other information here on how we receive pictures, and I'm seeing anywhere between pea-sized hail to quarter-sized hail, nickel-sized hail around Searcy, and we continue to appreciate you sending your pictures in, letting us know what's happening in your neighborhood as we're still watching that lowering of the cloud base. Yeah, thanks for moving the camera, guys, because it's cruising its way along. Once again, I'm not seeing any rotation. Corallys, are you seeing any rotation with that?
I am not seeing any. Go ahead, I'm checking in some of the reports. None at the moment, but let me go ahead.
But you can certainly see the heavy rain.
It's definitely very prominent, yes.
Yeah, if you want to go ahead and point out that heavy rain, where that heavy rain is really located, because in the distance
Right,
it is raining
it's
like cats and
you can see
dogs.
a little bit hazy there. Yeah, that's where a lot of that rain is starting to come on down. So that's what we're seeing so far with this. We did see a little bit of some of that lightning and of course a scary looking cloud that's kind of starting to lower a little bit. We're going to keep an eye out on that. But as of now, we're going to be mindful, watching out for the potential of anything tornadic with any of these storms. Right now, it's mostly just been severe thunderstorm warnings. We did have a tornado warning earlier, about an hour ago or so from one of these storms. But again, most of these have either been strong to severe storms, heavy downpours, large hail in excess of 1 inch in diameter, and plenty of lightning.
And we're showing RView 11, guys, because there is a little bit of concern. I know people are like, okay, so what's the deal with this cloud? When we look at a thunderstorm base, we want the base to be level. When you have something known as a lowering cloud deck, that's when you really have to watch out for things. And there is certainly a lowering happening with this thunderstorm as it makes its way through Little Rock Metro. The good news is we're not seeing any rotation. If we start to see some rotation within this potential wall cloud, then the concern would be ramped up that it may start to go tornadic. That's not the situation right now. We're going to continue to watch it very closely, keep you updated. There's no severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Little Rock or the Metro at this time, but we do have new severe thunderstorm warnings that are being posted. We've got a new one in Pike County and also a new one into Woodruff County. Once again, if you want to send your reports of hail, lightning, thunder, whatever it may be, 501-376-1111 is the way to do it. We'll go back over to radar at this time. We'll continue to watch that cloud base as it makes its way across Little Rock. Hopefully it continues to stay tame and doesn't do anything rogue or suspicious. Not seeing that happen at this time, but we're still watching it, and we'll continue to keep you updated on the situation as the worst of the weather is really now moving through the heart of Central Arkansas and also Little Rock. So we'll go down the line once again. Corallys will start off in Jonesboro, and then we'll spend our time little by little with more information with every severe thunderstorm warning.
Yeah, so earlier I know we mentioned that they were dealing with just some light showers near the Jonesboro area, but some of these are actually starting to produce still more of that lightning. So the more thunder showers, thunderstorms, non-severe at the moment. So starting off to our north and west across Jonesboro, you guys are probably seeing some of those storms roll through. Here's that severe thunderstorm warning, that one you mentioned, kind of going across white parts of Woodruff, Prairie counties, and I believe Monroe County. This one's until 4:15. So this has been known to produce lots of lightning, lots of hail. It's that same storm that moved through Faulkner and White County, still moving towards, I want to say, almost southeastish at this point. So anywhere from Augusta, it's starting to kind of be towards your southeast Bald Knob, but you guys are still probably dealing with some of those showers. A little bit of that lightning still being indicated, about tons of lightning here north of Pryor, I believe, Georgetown as well. I want to say this is south of Highway 64. So this severe thunderstorm warning, let's see if we can see any reports of some of that hail. And yes, we are seeing that almost ping pong, essentially sized hail with this as well. I want to say what, 1.5 inches in diameter with some of that hail. Easily. So if you're anywhere, yes, right where Pryor is, you guys are probably seeing the reports of that. The number we've been sharing, that would be a great number to use to send in some of those reports so we can visually see what's kind of going on. A lot of the towns, I'm going to step back, that are under this severe thunderstorm warning include, like I mentioned, Pryor, Georgetown, Gregory, Augusta, Howell, Pumpkin Bend, Bemis, McCrory, I believe that's how you pronounce it. Bald Knob, you guys are starting to be exiting from that severe thunderstorm warning, still seeing lingering showers, including you over in West Point. So back to the radar so we can kind of see what's going on right now with that storm continuing down in the line, if we are able to switch over to that.
I'm going to give you a hail path here to show the history of this. So this is showing
yes,
how that storm has really evolved and continues to hang on to that chance of quarter size to maybe as large as ping pong ball size hail. Looking at the latest data, yeah, this one could produce 1.5 inch diameter size hail. it may continue to grow into 2 inches. So if you're watching us in that part of the state, right through White County, moving into Woodruff County, and you have a vehicle that you care about, you probably want to try to cover it up or get it in the garage as soon as possible, because hail that size can certainly do some damage. And you see the oranges, that's where the most intense and larger hail has been happening. So let me freeze this here once it gets to now. And there you see it made its way through western parts of Faulkner County into White County. Then we start to lose that orange, but now the orange is ramping back up, an indication that this storm is starting to strengthen once again, and the updraft is growing, and this thing has to be watched out closely. It's still a supercell, still concerned about the potential. There could be some rotation there at times. So Woodruff County, you're under severe thunderstorm warning, but still keep your guard up in case this storm begins to rotate.
All right, let's see if we can go ahead and switch over back to, the radar. We can continue down this line. It's looking a little bit messy with this particular one, but going down, I believe, towards, it's hard to tell what county we're in here. I believe Faulkner County. So if you're anywhere, let's say Antioch, Gardner, McRae, you guys are probably seeing some of those storms roll on through at the back end of that significant severe thunderstorm warned storm. Continuing down towards Jacksonville, we're seeing some showers reported there. Not as much lightning, but still seeing some of that. Again, non-severe, I want to call those thunder showers there. Continuing on into the metro, like we saw, we've been showing you that camera view of those storms approaching in from the north and west. These are starting to roll through just north of the metro. So if you're in Sherwood and North Little Rock, you guys are probably seeing some of those downpours coming down, and a little bit some of that lightning was being picked up. Does seem we're probably going to start seeing it here in the metro in just a bit. It's just probably a few light showers coming down, but Kamek Village, you guys are probably seeing a downpour there as well. West Little Rock, so starting to be at the back end of it if you're in northwestern Pulaski County. Further down, Geyer Springs, I believe they call it Mableville. Mableville, thank you, yes. No lightning being indicated with this until we go a little bit further to our south. There we go, down to Bryant, Salem, going down Interstate 30. This is another storm, but it's not severe thunderstorm warned at the moment, but definitely producing quite a bit of lightning. I'm curious to see if this one is producing any hail with that, but not all of these were producing large hail at the moment. But Salem, Kentucky, you guys are seeing plenty of lightning with this particular one. See, just a little bit, I want to say dime-sized hail, pea-sized hail with that. So a little bit of a wider view. I'm going to go ahead and step aside. I believe we did have a severe thunderstorm warning as we continue down to our southward parts of Clark, Montgomery, and Pike. Yeah, it's starting to show up on over there. Hot Springs, though, you guys, we're dealing with a little bit of a stronger storm there. We're not dealing with any warnings at the moment. Over parts of Garland County as well, Lake Hamilton. Continuing down into the interstate, it's just a few light showers at the moment, but we're starting to enter where that severe thunderstorm warning with this particular cell that we mentioned that was in parts of, I believe, Clark County, moving towards east northeast. This one's, I believe there's two separate ones. This is the one until 4 o'clock, starting to exit Pike County, and then we have this one until 4:15. And let's see if we have any hail out of this one, because again, the standard with all of these storms have been the hail. It's a good indicator. And this one also has reports of about ping pong sized hail just outside of Nathan. So that's where we're seeing reported there, north of 26 and east of 369 there. So that's what we're seeing produced so far. And a little bit towards our, I believe this is Washita, Dallas counties as well. This one was producing some hail up to quarter-sized, just about quarter-sized, to the northeast of Bluff City. This particular system moving towards the northeast. So this is what we're seeing right now. We have a few severe thunderstorm warnings statewide at the moment. We're going to keep watching out, but you can kind of see where all those blues were being indicated. It looks like they had another one. Let's see what this new warning is for. A severe thunderstorm warning for Lone Oak, Prairie, and White County, I believe, was the latest one that just came up. It's kind of continuation almost from that same storm. That one is until at least 4:15. So that one we just saw pop up right there. So that's what we're seeing right now. You can kind of tell this distinct line is a good indication where that cold front is starting to push on through. And in terms of what we're seeing, most of these storms are really kind of just lined up north of the Interstate 30 and 40s, starting to move toward the south and east. You guys are probably just seeing a few pop-up showers. The only one is southern Arkansas. It's this one right here near Washita, Dallas counties, and we'll start to see more of those develop. I would say at least within the next hour or so, we'll start to be at the back end of this. And then really at the back end of this in the clear until at least 6 o'clock before it starts to be into southeastern Arkansas.
Yeah, so let's go over to the future radar once again to try to give people an estimate on when they can expect things to improve. This line, it seems like it's taking forever to get through here.
It is. It's slowing down. It's been. I want to say started to cross since early this morning, and it's really just chugging along. And that really didn't help with the situation in terms of severe weather because it kind of allowed those to kind of develop a lot easier. So yeah, continuing on to the rest of the evening, we'll start to be at the back end here in the metro around the 5 o'clock hour, anywhere from, I want to say, Searcy, even Jonesboro, down towards Hot Springs. You guys will be in the clear around the 5 o'clock hour with maybe just a few lingering showers, but then we'll start to see it enter into southeastern Arkansas, Pine Bluff, Monticello, Camden. You guys will probably be dealing with some of those strong storms coming in your direction. At the 7 o'clock hour, this is going to continue on for at least another hour or so. So as we get towards at least 8 o'clock, most areas are already going to start to be in the clear across the state, but we're still dealing with this area. This is why we actually were on, I believe, a severe thunderstorm watch until 9 o'clock because of these right here that are still going to be lingering into the area. 8 o'clock, still seeing them, and then they're going to start exiting the state out to the south and east. Lake Village still probably dealing with some of those lingering showers around the 9 o'clock hour. Otherwise, we are in the clear as that cold front slowly starts to push through into the evening. It will be stalling out though to our south, so we'll be dealing with some lingering rain chances into tomorrow as well. But in terms of anything severe into the next couple of days, we're not expecting that at the moment.
All right, Corallys, we're going to switch things over here because I'm still concerned about that cell into White County. It looks like the rotation is starting to pick up somewhat. Again, this is White County into Woodruff County actually now. Looking at the radar, we're starting to get a little appendage there. That is not good because that says there is rotation happening very close to Gregory. So if you are watching us in this part of Woodruff County along Highway 33, very close to Howe, Highway 17, 306 Becton, there's certainly something happening with this cell at this time. Going over to the winds, there is a little rotation now. I'm going to circle it here, or actually just put a icon to show you exactly where that rotation is between Georgetown and Gregory. Once again, you're not under a tornado warning at this time, but I would be prepared to take shelter if they pull the trigger and say there is a tornado warning associated with this cell. This might just be some mid-level rotation at this time, but we're seeing a little more evolution of that radar signature indicating this cell is trying to get its act together, and it may try to produce some rotation that could try to reach the ground over the next minute or 10 minutes as it continues to work into an atmosphere that is unstable. Now, we do have some cells down to the south that could interrupt the inflow of this cell, but just seeing that appendage, that little hook there, and let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. It's going to be this area. So the winds are wrapping around the cell like this. There's the inflow going into the storm, and then here's your rear flank downdraft, or where that cooler thunderstorm air is going to be located. So if there's something happening in the next 5 to 10 minutes, it's going to be very close to this part of Woodruff County. There's a lot of farmland out here, but still, we have several viewers in Woodruff County. I just want to give you a heads up. Nothing happening right now in terms of tornado warning. The National Weather Service has not changed the severe thunderstorm warning wording. They're still saying it is a regular severe thunderstorm warning. There's no tornado tag associated with it, but just watching how that radar signature is an indication that this may try to continue to increase in rotation. It stands out from the other cells, and it's almost like this cell is trying to break away from the other activity in White County. So this is trying to move ahead of everything else. So if you have any friends or family also into, I would say, Cross County, and let's see, this would be St. Francis County, then you need to give them a heads up, because this cell is headed in their direction in wind, and also right along the border of Cross County and St. Francis County, maybe pretty close to Forest City. So just to give them some time, hey, you got a nasty cell, some nasty weather's headed your direction, just want to give you a heads up. I'll let them know that the weather will be turning ugly there, getting into the next 30 minutes to an hour. We're going to continue to watch this cell very closely. That is the main cell that I'm concerned about. These other cells that have a severe thunderstorm warning, yes, that is a supercell happening into northern parts of Ouachita County. I'm going to take a look at some other data here to see if that one's showing any rotation whatsoever. Once again, this is primarily a large hail threat, but we do have just enough ingredients for these cells that could tap into some turning of the winds in the atmosphere and begin to start to rotate. And when you have a cell all by itself like this, you got to watch out for cells like that. So this is a severe thunderstorm warning for northern parts of Ouachita County moving into Dallas County. But Dallas County, heads up, you just keep a close eye on that, because that cell has the buffet or all the atmospheric ingredients all to itself. And those are the cells that may try to go rogue. So we'll have to watch out for that. These other cells are lined up right along the cold front, and it looks like we got a new severe thunderstorm warning for
Clark and
Pike County, and then you get into west central Clark County. So there's a new severe thunderstorm warning issued for the Crater of Diamonds area, Murfreesboro, Delight, Antoine, Okolona, Smyrna, that area. If you're watching us in Pike County, be on the lookout, because things are going to be changing. That's primarily a hail concern as well. Closer to the metro, because we have had heavy rain move through. It's almost missing downtown Little Rock. I don't think it's even raining here at the THV 11 studios just yet. There's heavy rain lined up along Cantrell, so not everybody's going to see the heavy rain and lightning and thunder out there. When this moves through, you're done with the threat of severe weather. So things are starting to quiet down in Maumelle. Things are quieting down in Mayflower. You're done with the threat of severe weather. Hot Springs Village, Conway, you're done. Valonia, you're done. Greenbrier, up through Cleburne County, Independence County, no concerns with severe weather. Van Buren County, Stone, Izard, Searcy, Newton County, and now here the rain looks like it just has made its way into downtown Little Rock. Yell County, you're done. Perry County, it's over. Montgomery County, Polk County, it's going to be the locations to the south, east, and east of this advancing line that you have to watch out for the potential of severe weather through the rest of the afternoon into the early evening hours until about 8 or 9 o'clock for extreme southeastern Arkansas. So we've got those 4 severe thunderstorm warnings. No tornado warnings at this time. Still watching that one cell into Woodruff County. It looks like that rotation, it's still there. It's not as strong, but got to watch things very closely. If you're taking mom out to dinner around Little Rock Metro, for the most part, it's just heavy rain. Okay, it's just heavy rain, Sherwood, nothing to be concerned about. Jacksonville, you're done. Cabot, you're done. Downtown Little Rock, it's just rain with some lightning and thunder, not severe. There is some very heavy rainfall now approaching Interstate 30 through Benton, Alexander, Bryant, Salem, Kentucky. That's moving towards Haskell, Traskwood, East End. You're next in line with this. Lots of lightning, some very heavy rain. It'll be over in the next 30 minutes to an hour. And then you still have the heavy rain just about to exit Hot Springs at this time, moving towards Interstate 30. That cell, kind of all by itself, showing a little bit of maybe some supercellular characteristics.
Yeah.
It's hard when you have trays in your mouth to say some of these words, so I apologize. But yeah, we have lightning happening, and this could also produce some hail. I'm going to try to see if we can get some of these hail pictures up, Corallys.
Yeah, I was actually looking at some of these reports, trying to see if we can, I don't know if anybody back there was able to save some of these photos. But yeah, essentially everything you were just saying, we're just watching out because there's still the likeliness of some of these storms to intensify as it heads into its southeast. So they did issue a new severe thunderstorm warning, I believe, for Calhoun and Clark, Dallas and Washita counties. So that particular one that they're looking out for possibly a tornado with this, but right now this is why you see it kind of that light yellow highlight. So it's a severe thunderstorm warning, but with the possibility of a tornado with this. And this one I believe is until saying 4:30. So something we're going to keep in mind. We're going to be watching out for that. Let's see if we can see any type of rotation with this one in particular as well.
A little increase in the wind speed, but not too much. But like what we said, it's all by itself, and you got to watch out for the guys that are all by themselves because they can go rogue. It
is producing some hail. It does seem up to almost quarter size. So yeah, your standard severe thunderstorm, but it has definitely the potential where it could turn it tornadic, especially when we see that the signature with these storms with the little hook on them. That's something we never want to see with that. And you can see where that hill core is. So it is a possibility that we're going to be watching out to see if this does turn into a warning. So that's what I saw right now. This is until 4:30. So we still have a good, I want to say almost 40 minutes with this under a severe thunderstorm warning. Let's see if we can take a wider look for the other storms that we have going on as well, or even okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna loop this a little bit. I'm gonna try to get some of these pictures. So if you can just work with the radar just for like a few minutes, I'm going to try to see if I can put some of these pictures in.
So yeah, essentially we're just seeing a line of those storms still starting to cross over into the interstates, especially over Interstate 30 towards the east-southeast. One cell in particular we are looking out for that has the potential for possible tornado is over in parts of Dallas, Washita counties there. And we also have a severe thunderstorm warning for one that was over in parts of Woodruff, Northern Prairie counties as well. So these are going to continue to stay put. I was looking actually at the latest discussions that we're talking about for severe thunderstorm watches, that a lot of these storms are still expected to kind of hold together or kind of show some intensification as we continue on through the rest of our evening or two. So we still have that threat for hail within some of these storms, especially when they're single cells like this, damaging winds, and of course a tornado or two. We've only had one tornado warning earlier this afternoon, and since then it's mostly been severe thunderstorm warnings, but again, it only takes one. We're definitely being vigilant for sure. So here's a look at the 1 hour radar loop. It's starting to move out of the metro area. I know that we've only been dealing with just some light rain showers so far, and already parts of Pulaski County already are starting to be at the back end of this. So again, if you have any plans for the rest of the evening heading towards the west, it's starting to show signs of improvements. Unfortunately, elsewhere though, south of that, still is in the area of concern. Are you starting to see any reports coming in at all, Nathan?
I'm going to put these pictures up. So if we can go to our view 11, looking off to the north, and you see the heavy rain. If we can focus on that, Corallys, you focus on that. I'm going to try to get these pictures in real quick, so just give me a couple minutes.
So yeah, like we had some of those showers over in North Little Rock that were starting to, as you can clearly tell, produce some downpours. But in terms of seeing a whole lot of lightning, there hasn't been a whole lot of lightning with that. Northwestern portions of the county are starting to see improvements from that as well. But essentially what we're dealing with here, mostly in the metro, has been in the form of rain. It's just been a few handful of counties that have been seeing some of these stronger storms. So that's what we have going on right now. Let's see if we can switch back over to the radar. So
you do a storm track 11, if you can work with that.
We go ahead and do that. So those are the areas of concern that we're looking out for. Like we mentioned, I believe that one was in parts of I'm gonna have to pull out parts of Dallas County. This one, I believe, parts of Washita. I'm not sure if we're able to zoom in at all. This is the one we're watching out for that has the potential of possibly even being tornadic at the moment, but it's still a severe thunderstorm warning until at least 4:30 for that particular cell that's starting to move towards the east, southeast or so. So this is a look right now at our storm tracker. Storm track 11 at that, and if we could go back to, are you still using the?
Yeah, I just got the picture up. Just this is nickel size. Hey, I'm gonna have another picture coming up in just 1 second.
Okay, back to, I believe. Are you ready for any of those pictures at all?
Yeah, we got one up.
Okay, perfect. This is essentially, it looks like nickel-sized hail. The Troy Mars. This was over in Searcy, so it's just good visual. This is what we mean when we will love to see those reports. A good visual of how big some of this hail can get. We've seen the standard normally is quarter, but we've seen as large as 1.75 inches in diameter, ping pong size. A lot of this has been anywhere from quarter or an inch in diameter, but this one in particular is nickel-sized hail over in Searcy. So thank you, Troy, for sending that one or submitting that as well. I'm gonna see if we have any other.
And once again, here's the number. If you would like to send your picture of hail in or whatever storm report you may have, 501-376-1111. I'm trying to comb through those reports right now, take a look at the pictures. Always appreciate you, viewers, being our help, being almost like your own meteorologist in your own community, because we can only see what's happening on radar and kind of guess what's happening in your neighborhood, but it's really when you send in your pictures, as long as they're safe, you give us verification, yeah, there is hail the size of quarters or the size of golf balls taking place. So continue to send those pictures in, continue to send those videos in. We always appreciate it, and you may see it show up here on a future newscast. But let's go back over to radar, because we have lost some severe thunderstorm warnings, which is some good news. And also, I'm still watching that cell into Woodruff County that's merged and getting a little more messy in terms of the opportunity of the cell continue to strengthen and continue to rotate in Woodruff County. It looks like that's not the case anymore, because, like I told you, it had some competition with that cell down to the south. We're not seeing the individual cell structure anymore. We're not seeing that appendage as much anymore. So we'll take a look at the loop, and you can see how this all evolved, how we were kind of concerned when it started to develop that appendage, and then it just merged with that cell down to the south. That cuts off the inflow, that really cuts off the chance of this cell going tornadic. So that one, it's still packing a punch. Don't get me wrong. You're still seeing lots of lightning, very heavy rainfall through Cotton Plant, Hunter, Georgetown, McCrory, just to the south of Augusta, moving into Cross County, moving into St. Francis County, and it's just kind of lingered across that part of the state over the past hour or so. Down towards Little Rock, you got heavy rain moving very close to Lonoke, affecting Furlow in Lonoke County. Kerr, still some heavy rain around Dixie and also Rixey in the Little Rock Metro, and then heavy rain taking place right along Interstate 30, Benton, Bryant, lots of lightning, not severe, but still creating quite a ruckus. Heavy rain still happening now to the southeast of Hot Springs. So Hot Springs, you're done with the threat of severe weather. The worst of the weather has moved down to your south and southeast. However, just because the rain ends, don't go outside. You still have lightning pretty close to you. See the lightning strikes just to the south of downtown. So until that moves farther off to the south and east, it's still not safe to be outdoors just yet. Watching the one cell, that's the most concern right now, moving through Ouachita County, and this cell is going to be drifting its way into Calhoun County. That cell's all by itself. It's producing most likely hail. We take a look at the hail right now, and around Amy and Smead, there could be, where that orange area is, looks like around Lunit, lots of county roads here, County Road 26, a very unpopulated area, but there could be hail the size of quarters or larger than that happening in that part of Ouachita County. It's north of Camden, and it will stay north of Camden because it's drifting its way down to the south and southeast. East Camden may get clipped by this cell.
Let's see, because I know that I'm kind of just trying to look at updates. Are we able to see any type of rotation with this? Because this one is still severe thunderstorm warned, but it is still showing, concerns. Definitely plenty of hail with this one, but let's see if we are able to see any indication of that rotation at all.
Yeah, I'm looking at Storm Track 11 to see if we have any rotation with that as well. It's very, very weak happening at this time.
Okay. Very, yeah. You can't see it a whole lot here. So, so just again, the main thing with this is that we just been being mindful of watching out for some of these storms having the potential maybe producing a tornado or two as we continue on throughout the afternoon and evening. This is where we're kind of looking out for that little hooking area. Whenever you see that type of shape within some of these storms, it's definitely cause for concern there. So it is a little bit broad, but it's definitely has been producing lots of hail within that. So if you want to go ahead and clear that out so I can read that town name there. So again, Smead, you're in that Amy as well. It's starting to head towards your direction, but it's believe are starting to cross over into Highway 7 there. And this one is moving towards, I believe, east, southeast roughly. I'm going to head and let's see if we can take a wider view if you have any new one.
I was going to put a storm track on it. It's moving to the east at 25 miles per hour, it says.
Okay, so it's moving a little slow there, starting to enter Calhoun County there. So yeah, essentially what we just are going to continue to do is just watch out for the potential of seeing more of these severe thunderstorms develop into the rest of our afternoon, which is definitely likely. Here's a little bit of a timing out to see where we can see it reach your neighborhood here. Thank you, Nathan. So again, Amy, it's pretty much right at your doorstep essentially. Same with Millville, Bearden, 438, Harlow, 444, Little Bay. You guys could be reaching you guys within the next 45 minutes or so. And then Thornton at 4:55 at a 5 o'clock hour for Fordyce, yes. At the 5 o'clock hour. So it's moving a little bit slow right now. We have a few warnings. Some of them have started to drop off. Some of them have been kind of overlapping, especially over that one that was near Woodruff County. The ones we're very concerned tend to be the ones that are like the individual cells here versus this, but this of course can still pack a punch. It's just as concerning, but this one of course it's essentially an isolated cell itself. So we're going to keep an eye on that. Time now, 4:03. This line is still slowly starting to push on through. It's just interesting how the metro area just happened to see some of those showers just go to our north and to our south. So it's still seeing some storms to our southwest, Alexander and Benton, East End. You guys are dealing with some of those lightning there, but non-severe storms at the moment. Same going into Garland County, Hot Springs region. So starting to see more areas slowly but surely at the back end of this as this whole front continues to push on towards southeast. Still expecting to hold its punch. Moving up along towards the north of Interstate 40 towards northeastern Arkansas. We're still seeing a severe thunderstorm warning for this particular one until at least 4:30. Plenty of hail reports, but right now it's mostly been roughly quarter size. This has been a long-lasting storm that we've been kind of tracking for the last couple of hours at least. It's produced lots of reports of hail. It's had plenty of severe thunderstorm warnings continuing from that, and of course we had a prior tornado warning a couple hours to go from that as well. But it does seem to be kind of combining with the nearby storms in the area. So it's a little bit better when we see them combine and kind of use up each other's energy as well. But so continuing back down towards near the metro area, Jacksonville, you guys are also probably seeing still a few lingering light showers, especially to your south and to your north, still producing a little bit of some lightning. So like Nathan mentioned, even though you guys are probably not dealing with the brunt of it, still lightning within the vicinity, still not exactly 100% safe to be going outside at the moment. And continuing back down towards the interstate, again, metro area, just maybe a little bit some drizzle. Continuing down I believe that is Interstate 30, Bryant, Alexander, Salem towards Benton, heading west towards Kentucky, north of Haskell. You guys are still dealing with some of those clusters of some storms there. And then continuing down towards our south and west, Magnet Cove, Butterfield, Rockport, near the Lake Catherine State Park region, some probably heavy downpours out there, plenty of lightning being associated with that. And then there's a brief break in between as we continue to head down towards our south and west. I believe this is the one that was near, it's a little bit hard to tell here where this county is at.
So you got Clark and Pike.
There we go. Clark, Pike County. You guys are still under that severe thunderstorm warning until 4:30. A lot of these storms are under severe thunderstorm warning until 4:30. We'll see if a lot of these will continue on and would not be surprised. So if you're, let's say, a little bit closer towards, let's go, yeah, move it towards the west a little bit. Crater of the Diamond, so Murfreesboro, you guys already start to be at the back end of that warning and the rain that's moving on through, and it's now headed towards the light. Pike City, you guys are probably seeing some of those thunder showers roll on through, same as Antoine, thank you, Antoine.
Yeah, it gets everybody. When I first saw that, when I first got here, I said Anthony, and no, it's Antoine.
Yes, so a lot of these have like little French vibes to them, but yeah, and we're continuing on towards our south and west. So right now we are just going to continue to watch out for a lot of these thunderstorms to see if they intensify, which I would not be surprised, or they definitely are expected as we continue on into the next couple of hours. But I want to say at least Pulaski County, I want to say the western half of it, you guys are essentially in the clear and good to go. Still starting to roll through the rest of the area, though.
All right, Jennifer says we have pea-sized hail in Benton. No surprise. Remember, severe thunderstorm warning or severe thunderstorm is when hail size is 1 inch in diameter or greater, quarter size or greater. So even though you have hail and you're like, okay, why are we not under severe thunderstorm warning? Well, that's the reason why. Also, severe thunderstorm warning could have winds of at least 58 miles per hour or greater. If you have winds 40 to 50 miles per hour, that's considered a strong storm. And yes, it could still bring down some Bradford trees or some tree branches, but it's not necessarily severe. We're watching this line cruise its way through central Arkansas, and for the most part, it's just batches of heavy rain, thunder, and lightning, but not everybody is seeing that. And you can clearly see Arkadelphia, you may just get clipped by that cell. Maybe just a little bit of rain. Meanwhile, Caddo Valley, you might not see any rain whatsoever. There's kind of a gap in between the one cell happening in Antoine and then the other cell moving through Hot Spring County, it has moved into Malvern. So Malvern, you're seeing some very heavy rainfall with some thunder and lightning, once again, right along Interstate 30. So these cells are going to be along Interstate 30 for another 15 to 30 minutes, and then they'll be to the east. That means everybody from Interstate 30 to the west and north, you're done with the threat of severe weather after 15 or 30 minutes. Right along Interstate 30 and just to the west of Interstate 30, these last two cells moving through Howard County, Clark County, Pike County, once those cells are cleared, you're done with the threat of severe weather. It's going to really be southeast Arkansas we're going to have to really pay attention to because nothing's been happening. So the atmosphere is ripe in this part of the state, Drew County, into Lincoln, Cleveland, Deshay, Arkansas, Chico, Ashley, Bradley, Union counties, Jefferson County, Phillips County, and also Grant County, and also Dallas County. I don't want to leave you folks out. We'll have to watch out through the rest of the afternoon into this evening until about 8 or 9 o'clock for that threat of severe weather to still be in play. As this cold front continues to move down to the south and southeast, this is untapped territory. There's a whole bunch of atmospheric ingredients for these cells to maintain their strength or intensify as they move into this part of the natural state, and we'll have to watch out for that over the next several hours. Right now, it's just all severe thunderstorm warnings. I'm not seeing any clear rotation with anything in White County or Woodruff County, and even the cell down into Ouachita County looks like it's behaving. I'm not seeing anything show up on the NROT. I'm not seeing any concerns on the wind information of radar.
Does seem like the lightning also has gone down a little bit, so it's showing
that
signs
has
of
dropped
weakening.
dramatically, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And we'll take a look at the cloud tops too, because we'll put this in a loop and see how that's been evolving. So yeah, there was green. It was like 50,000 foot top over Searcy. We lost that. Let's see how these tops are doing down here. The cloud heights, I should say, in more simplistic terms. You had that one cloud top in Pike County. That's come down a bit. And the cell over Ouachita County, that really developed, but now that one has also kind of dropped a little bit. So With that, we're going to continue to watch things very closely. We just wanted to give you an update because we know a lot of people are planning to take their moms out or grandmoms out, and you want information. There was graduations taking place, and we just wanted to give you a little perspective and kind of calm some of your fears because severe thunderstorm watch, I know a lot of people kind of get scared, and for the most part, it's just very scattered activity. The main concerns continue to be hail. Yes, the tornado threat will still be in play, and yes, you need to stay alert. South and southeast Arkansas through the rest of the afternoon into the evening. Around Little Rock Metro and off to the north and northwest, things are done. We're done with the threat of severe weather. It's over, and you probably are seeing some sunshine off to the west as well as that cooler and less humid air filters its way in here from the northwest. And tomorrow it's going to be cooler and also less humid. Meteorologist Corallys Ortiz will have more on that coming up at 5:30. Anything else you want to say, Corallys?
No, again, just be mindful, be weather aware, like you mentioned, one more time with that number, 501-376-1111. Send in those reports, of course, when it is safe to do so. Want you guys to be out and about, spend time with your mothers, of course, be nice and safe in there. And we're just going to continue to watch out for any of these storms if they continue to intensify as we continue on into the rest of our afternoon and evening.
And happy Mother's Day to all the moms and grandmoms out there. Sorry we couldn't give you a better day. Stay weather aware through the rest of the afternoon, and we will keep you updated here on Facebook. And if needed, we'll break in on programming. Have a great day, and we'll see you at 5:30.